Good morning, everyone, or good evening. Here in the United States. I've been with the company for just about 2 years now and successfully been able to bring over lots of medical professionals to the United States. The purpose of this webinar today is to discuss the steps of coming over to the United States to become a medical professional here in the United States. We're going to talk about the steps that you're going to need to work here in the United States. And, today hopefully I'm going to be able to help you come over. As I said today, this is presented by Passport USA. We're a division of Health Carousel. We do have an office in the Philippines. We do have affiliates in India as well. Through Passport USA, we want to help you become the best medical trained professional here in the United States that you can be, and we are ready, willing, and able to assist you in that process. Passport USA holds itself out to have the highest ethical standards. We do everything by the letter of the law here in the United States when we're bringing people over. We think it's very important that you come over in a legal sense, ethically. We hear these horror stories of people coming over to the U.S. that, didn't do it correctly and then are unfortunately unable to get green cards later on. You do not have to worry about that when you're dealing with Passport USA. We do everything for your benefit, for our benefit, for our clients' benefit. We are POEA licensed agency in the Philippines. Health Carousel is Filipino owned and operated in the Philippines. Our CEO is the current president of the International Healthcare Recruitment. So, we are 100% involved with being ethical and treating our candidates well. That is one thing I can say you will always hear from every candidate that works with us, is that we treat our candidates well and we care about our candidates. I care about your families. I care about your work situations. Even though we have a lot of people working, if you need to talk to me or you need to talk to somebody else in our Philippines office, we are always here and able to talk to you. Health Carousel, Passport USA has great benefits for foreign trained candidates. We have bonuses for candidates that have passed NDCOT and have their visa screen or have state licenses. We pay all costs of coming over to take the MPTE, to get your visa screen, to get your state licenses. We pay for all your immigration costs. Transportation, initial housing, you'll get a stipend for initial housing. You'll get an arrival bonus for living expenses. We provide 3 weeks of vacation, health insurance, continuing education, and a retirement savings plan, which some of you in other countries probably don't have. So we will walk you through the steps of what a retirement plan is, U.S. taxes, because again, that all can be very, very confusing. We provide great hourly benefits and annual raises, and we also provide referral bonuses. So definitely refer your friends. That's a great way to earn some extra money. Now, one of the first things that you want to do when you're coming to the United States or want to come to the United States and you're in another country is you have to think about selecting an agency. It's going to be extremely difficult to do it on your own. So you're going to want to sit down and decide what type of agency is going to best help my needs. You're going to have to research it, because just because somebody has a fancy website or a fancy video out there doesn't mean that they're the best agency for you. Call and talk to the people that you're going to be dealing with. You know, see if you can get testimonials on blogs. Call the office that you're thinking about working with and see if you can talk to other candidates that have come to the United States. You know, that's something that we offer here, and we want to make sure whoever comes and works for us is comfortable with coming and working with us. Of course, I believe Passport USA is the best agency out there, only because I know how much we care about our candidates. We want to make sure that when you come here, you don't feel alone. We want to make sure that if you're going to bring your family, that we can help you and assist in that we make you feel like this is your home away from home. Now, the next step that you're going to take is taking your TOEFL exam. Now, TOEFL is your English exam, and it is probably one of the most frightening steps for all people coming over to the United States. Everyone hates to take TOEFL. It assesses your reading, listening, speaking, and writing. It's pretty expensive, so people don't want to take the test until they're ready to take the test, and people tend to delay. Now, let me tell you, the best way to conquer this exam is to conquer your fears. You need to get some English videos. You need to just sit down with friends or family and just talk in English. I know most people have a problem with the speaking portion of the exam. You do need to get a 26 score for speaking, an overall score of 89 on the exam. The speaking portion, again, is going to be conquered by repetition, by practice, but the biggest thing you have to get over is psyching yourself up. It's like anything else. If you remain calm when you go to take the test, you are going to excel. A lot of you have taken your courses in English. You're going to do great, so you just need to relax. Our Philippines office does have a TOEFL preparation course that will assist you in passing the exam. So definitely contact our office if you're in the Philippines. If you already have this credential, we will reimburse you for passing TOEFL. So that's definitely an added benefit. But I just want to make sure everyone is calm while they're taking TOEFL, because you're more likely to pass if you are calm while you're taking it. The next step that you're going to have to think about, and this is probably one of the most confusing parts of coming over to the United States, is your credentialing and state licensure exam. Now, the credentialing portion of the exam is getting your transcripts from your education reviewed by an agency here in the United States. A lot of these organizations are, you know, FCCPT, CGF&S, and then there are branches of CGF&S like ICD, ICA. Each state takes a different one. So most states take FCCPT or CGF&S, but there are states that require only ICA or only ICD. I believe there's another one like IERF. So you want to make sure that when you decide, hey, I want to go to Texas, that I'm picking the right agency and that I'm not putting all this money into one agency that won't even review your transcripts for the state. Now, they're going to review your transcripts to make sure that you have the equivalency of a U.S. master's degree. This is to get your visa screen. The visa screen is required for you to come here and work in the United States on a working visa. You need a visa screen. So this is the confusing part. That is one standard. The state you are going to may have a different standard. So if you are going to New York, they may require less of a standard. You might not have to have the equivalency of a master's degree. You could have to have maybe 120 credits as opposed to 150 credits. So, that's something you want to think about when you're getting this all done. If you work through our agencies, they review your transcripts before they even get sent off to an agency, so they can tell you if you're missing classes, and they're going to instruct you to start taking classes now. You don't want to wait until all your documents are into the agency, because it takes a long time for them to process everything. And then, state licensure is another confusing process because they require different documents that aren't needed by the reviewing agency. You still have to send things to FCCPT, CGF&S, because they will provide you with a CES, which is an educational review for the specific state. So we have the visa screen standard, and then we have the state standard that will be reviewed for your transcript. And again, you may need remediation for this. Will help you take your general credit classes in a pretty fast way. So you definitely want to contact our agency so we can refer you to the right agency so that you can get this done. Some candidates choose to CLEP courses. The only hesitation I say with CLEPing courses, you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly and you're not taking extra courses or unneeded courses, because some states will only allow you to CLEP a certain amount of courses. So that's something you want to be aware of. And then we have the big U.S. licensing exam, better known as the MPTE or NDCOT for OTs. You are required to take and pass this exam. Again, we have study classes in the Philippines for candidates that will be taking MPTE. We can also refer you to good other agencies that help you prepare for these exams. Right now in the United States, we have gone to fixed test dates. That's a tongue twister a little bit. The following dates being offered here, the next date in the United States is September 7th, then October 26th, and December 5th. Those are the only test dates left this year. There will be 5 test dates next year, which is January 30th, March 20th, July 2nd, and July 31st, and then October 23rd of next year. So while you're doing your remediation and getting ready for your visa screen, you need to get in your head and decide now, when do you think you want to take this exam, and start studying with those goals in mind. So if you know, hey, I'm almost done my visa screen, I want to test December 5th. Well, you need to really be studying now. You need to be doing lots of practice questions. You need to be doing, just really focusing on passing this exam, because this is, that one of the last hurdles you're going to need to get here and work in the United States, and it makes you very valuable when you are MPTE passed. Again, if you come to us and you're already MPTE passed, you can get a bonus for doing so. And, the special note is if, some of our clients allow candidates to come over and work on temporary licenses. There are some states here in the United States that do allow you to come over prior to taking MPTE, such as Texas, New Mexico, West Virginia. So those are some of the states that allow you to come. You can start working and then take the test. It really depends on what type of candidate you are, if that is what is best for you. Some candidates would rather take the test first and then start working because they really want to focus on passing the test first. And some candidates feel that if they come here and they start working, they're going to be better off by learning things here in the United States and then taking the test. So you have to assess what's best for you. Now, this is not a next step. This could be a concurrent step. There's no way to map this out as step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, because some things are going to be going on all at the same time. So if you're working with us here at Passport USA and you're doing your credentialing and you're very close to getting your visa screen, we're going to want to place you in a job here in the United States. You know, there are lots of different types of jobs and facilities here in the United States, such as skilled nursing facilities, hospitals, outpatient facilities, and home health. You know, if I were you, I'd be very flexible on the types of jobs you're going to be willing to take when you first come over, because what you want to do is gain experience here in the United States. Again, once you have a couple months, a year, 2 years, it's going to make you more valuable, and you're going to be able to move around a lot better. So you might not get your dream location or your dream job if you wanted to go to, you know, downtown New York and work at a hospital. Well, that's a job that's coveted by a lot of U.S. candidates. So there's a good chance if you don't have experience and you're coming right from offshore, that's not going to happen for you. You might have to go work in, you know, somewhere in Texas or somewhere in New Mexico first. And, you know, it's going to be surprising because in your head you've watched videos and you think you know what the United States is like. I've had candidates that are like, oh, I'm not so sure about this location. Then they get there. They love the people. They love where they're at. They love their job. So what I have to say to you about, you know, job placement is be open. Be open to different opportunities. Be open to different facilities that you haven't worked in. Be open to job locations. So, you know, you might have to put your dream job off for a little until you get experience here in the United States. And you want to make sure you're doing things to make yourself marketable as a candidate. You want to make sure that you have your most up-to-date resume in with your agency. You want to make sure you're keeping yourself current. You know, if you are working at a phone bank because you have to help support your family, well, that's fine. But you also want to make sure that you're either volunteering somewhere. You have to make sure you're keeping yourself current in the job that you're seeking here in the United States, because that will make you more marketable as well. You also want to practice on things like phone interviews. You know, you're not going to do an in-person interview here in the United States. Your interview is going to be over the phone, so you want to make sure that your English is clear and concise. So you want to practice before you do a phone interview. You want to, you know, anticipate questions that are going to be asked during the interview, such as, what was your last PT job like? What modalities do you use? Are you open? Have you researched the facility? So if you're going to interview with a skilled nursing facility in San Antonio, Texas, you want to make sure that you're prepared to, if the client asks you, have you researched this? Oh, yes, I've checked you out on the website. You know, I've checked out San Antonio. It seems like a very exciting place to live. They want to make sure that you're pumped up and excited about it, and you want to make sure that you're a marketable candidate. And then, you know, after you've been selected for a job, you're going to be sponsored for either an H-1B visa or an EB-2 green card. Right now, you know, obviously a lot of people are coming over on H-1B visas. You have to have the equivalency of a bachelor, or actually they're going to say for your visa screen the equivalency of a master's. But to get a H-1B visa, the job has to require a bachelor's degree. For an EB-2, you have to have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of experience. So you want to make sure that you're going to qualify for one of these things. You can ask our agency in the Philippines or here in the United States which one you will qualify for. But once you've been selected for a client, we are going to go ahead and file for your visa. We do want to get you here as fast as possible. Passport USA has 3 attorneys in-house here in the United States, one being myself, 2 being Steve Albert, who is one of our vice presidents here. And then we also have a licensing and immigration specialist, John Dawson, who would be able to answer questions about visas and also questions about state licensure and credentialing. So that's also an added benefit. So if you are over in the Philippines, if you had questions and they were unable to answer your questions, they would always refer your questions here. We also work with 2 of the best immigration healthcare attorney firms in the United States. So, you know, you can feel comfortable that your visa is going to be processed in a speedy fashion, and that it's going to be done correctly, something that will not jeopardize you later on for being here in the United States. So that's all very exciting. While you're getting ready for visa sponsorship, you're going to remember that you want to start getting these documents together. You're going to need these for your visa. You're going to need these for credentialing for some things. So these are documents that you're going to want to get ready. You're going to want to have a current resume listed with the year, month, of beginning and end dates of your employment. You're going to have, you're going to need a copy of your relevant professional degrees, diplomas, transcripts. If you've ever been to the United States, you're going to want copies of your passports. When you've entered the United States, you're going to need a copy of your physical therapy license of the country of where you're working in. If you have any, if you are licensed in the U.S., you need to produce that license as well. If you have your CES from FCCPT or CES, and then after your visa is approved and you go to your embassy interview, which, by the way, we do help you with your embassy interview because I know a lot of people get nervous about that, but we do have an orientation before you go to your embassy interview. Then we prepare you for the United States. That's the exciting part. We get your housing ready. We get you, if you're interested in a car, we do that. We get your bank account set up. We tell you exactly what you need to know to get here and start a foundation here in the United States. When you come to the United States, one of our U.S. representatives, whether that's me or somebody else here in the office, will either have you come here to Cincinnati, or we will go and meet you out where you're going to be working, and we'll get you settled in your housing. And we make sure that you go to the grocery store, and that everything's set up in your apartment, and that you've gone and met your new boss, and that you know where you're going for work the next day. So we make sure that you are ready to go and that you can feel as comfortable as possible, because it is a big transition coming from a different country and starting in a country where you may not know people. So we want to make sure we introduce you to some people while you're around and that we get you settled in here in the United States. Now this is going to be, that's pretty much an overview of how you come to the United States. If you have any more in-depth questions, you can ask today. Or you can also either email us. Our contact information is on our website at passportusa.com. And our email addresses, telephone numbers, so if you wanted to call in. So that's where you can email us if you have questions. I do see a couple questions up on the board. Okay, it says, I still do not have IELTS or TOEFL IBTs. Still, do I have a chance? Yes, you still have a chance, but I mean, you need to pass those to work here in the United States. There's no way of getting around the English exam because you'll need it for the visa screen. There are some states, such as Florida, that don't require for you to take TOEFL. They don't have TOEFL scores. That being said, there's still no way to go there and work if you do not pass TOEFL. So I would say find a course that's going to help you pass it, and then just kind of focus your head and go and take the exam and pass it so you can get here. Can the OTs come to the United States and work on temporary license and give the exam? Yes, Samuel, OTs can also come on temporary exams and work, temporary licenses and work here in the United States prior to taking their NBCOT. We do not, somebody is asking if we have an agency in Kuwait. We do not have an agency in Kuwait, but if you are in Kuwait, what you're going to do is contact our Philippines office. They work with people all over the Middle East because a lot of candidates of theirs go off and work in the Middle East. So they are used to working with candidates in the Middle East, and that's what I would recommend for that. If you are still in another country that is outside of the Philippines, yes, you can start the process of coming to the United States. For instance, if you are in Saudi and you are working there as a PT or an OT, or if you're, any country, it doesn't really matter, and you want to come to the United States, you can start the process there. If you're anywhere in the Middle East, you're going to want to contact our Philippines office, and they will help you start the process of coming here. You will interview with one of our representatives here prior to getting the rest of the benefits package to see if you want to proceed in the process. And I think that's it for today. I think we've answered all your questions. It's been a pleasure, I'd say, meeting with all of you, but I haven't spoken to many of you. But I'm excited, and I hope that you get to come here and work in the United States. We have lots of jobs right now. Therapy in the United States is on the rise. It is going to be one of the biggest growing professions in the United States. So you want to make sure that you're starting the process now and that we can get you lined up to come in the United States soon. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your evening or day. Thank you.